Welcome back po. Welcome back to LIRA in Law. I'm your host, Lyra Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. And thank you very much for joining me on our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 to 8:30. 7:30 to 8:30. Nakalimutan ko for a moment there. But 7:30, 8:30 and on this Thursday, kind of cold, but certainly rainy evening nga, no? Broadcasting live as usual from London, England. And topic nga natin yon, big topic, new topic, no? Which is changed to BRP deadline, announced on the 3rd, well, posted actually on the 3rd of 4th of December. So it's very new, okay? I have posted also this change on our Facebook, okay? So makikita nyo mamaya if you need to go back to what's been posted. I've also posted nga a longer, if you like, explanation of this, actually from the Guardian newspaper. And that was on the 3rd, but the Home Office announcement was actually only on the 4th, which is yesterday. So now let me just take you nga from the top, so hindi tayo malito, no? Now, unang-una po, BRPs. Now, what do they stand for? BRCs. BRPs, Biometric Residence Permit, or BRCs are Biometric Residence Cards. The latter, the BRCs, are to do with EU citizens now, no? But they're much the same in that it looks a bit like a credit card. Alam nyo naman, if you have a BRP, I'm sure you know what it looks like, no? It looks a bit like credit card. Nandiyan picture nyo, nandun yung visa nyo, okay? And also when it was issued, for example. And nasa likod, some more details. Now, until relatively recently, until the 31st of December, I should say, that document, that card, is what you use in order to show, prove your visa in the UK. So, and that's been in play for a few years now. That day before that, there was a stamp on passport, and the stamp picture, actually, or the type of stamp has changed over the years. Unang-una, there was just a black stamp. Tapos, they then changed it to a slightly, I think, kind of pinkish stamp nga. Then they changed it to a red sticker stamp. So it's changed over the years. And the last thing nga was the BRPs. The reason being, it was harder to forge. And that was why, so for security reasons, they changed it to BRP. So until recently, it was to be able to show nga that you have a visa, you have these cards, no? So nandun nga pangalan nyo, nandun nakalagay visa nyo. Yeah? Now, so yun ang BRP yung itsura. What has changed? Now, for a few years now, people have been told, okay, the BRPs and BRCs will expire on the 31st of December. Nitong taon. So in 3 weeks time. And it will be replaced, or it has been replaced, by what's called e-visa. E-visa is just electronic visa. So basically, sabi nila, they want people now to be able to check remotely, so online nga, anong klase ng visa. Now, the rationale behind that is to be able to again, they say it's more secure, and also in order for people to be able to provide, the e-visa nga to, say, employers, mga bangko. So it's supposed to be more convenient, and I can see that there's some merit nga to that. Now, so the problem, though, has been really the timing, and I'm glad actually that this announcement was made, because it's stressing out a lot of people, and I know that firsthand, because marami kong mga kliyente, they just they worry, no? Lalabas sila, mag-holiday nga sila, babalik sila sa Enero na, or sometimes in February, no? To be with family, and they're worrying. So rather than just enjoying themselves, they're worrying about this. Makabalik pa ba sila dito, no? So they're worrying about the process, because no longer will they have this physical card that expires now on the 31st of December. They then have to prove nga their visa and right to come back to the United Kingdom, and indeed remain in the United Kingdom, by means of an electronic visa. And not everyone is comfortable, no, with computers, no. So I'm not surprised really that it's been a concern. Then on top of that, it was going to be well, it is going to happen on the 31st of December. That is the expiry of your card will be on the 31st of December. And that applies across board. Kung indefinite kayo o kaya may visa kayo as a spouse, no, on a probationary basis, o nandito kayo as a student, the card you will see will expire on the 31st of December. It doesn't mean na yung visa nyo matatapos nga din on the 31st of December. Most people, yung visa nga nila lalagpas ng 31st of December. Problema nga lang, wala din silang mapapakitang basta-basta. But that's supposed to be done remotely. So an e-visa nga. And I can understand the logic behind making it an e-visa, but what I could not understand, and I'm glad this has been announced, is the timing. No, I know it's been ongoing. The process has been ongoing now for some time, and it's been certainly publicized now. But the timing is a bit strange or unhelpful, I should say, because the 31st of December is, of course, bank holiday. No, the 1st of January. Well, actually, 31st of December is not bank holiday. The 1st of January is the bank holiday. That is also when a lot of people travel. No, either just before Christmas nga, balik kayo January, let's say, no? Because a lot of people travel for 2-3 weeks to go and see family, and they come back, and so it's a strange timing. So this, I think, this announcement nga accepts that the timing is a bit inconvenient. Is probably the least description for it. It is. Why you would choose the 31st of December, I know not. No? It should be certainly the 31st of March. I can see that. So ginawa nga nila. So let's look at that. So so this announcement that they made, and as I say, I'll post that on our Facebook now. They're extending the usage of your BRP until the 31st of March 2025. Okay, so you're on. So it's not going to be so you can still use it. So I'll take you through the process. So BRP, as I say, you're on your card nyo it's changing out from BRP to e-visa, and that's been in play for a while, and the BRPs now will expire on the 31st of December. So in about 3 weeks' time, and you're supposed to be able to you're supposed to show your visa either in the country, or if you're outside the UK, coming back into the flying back into the UK by way of an e-visa. Now, how do you apply for an e-visa? Now, it depends very much the input I get as to how easy or not it is. Depends very much on who you ask. No, if you're technologically minded, then easy it's probably not. It's a bit cumbersome. There's quite a bit process now. You have digital photo and all of that, but it's not so bad if you digitally if you're technologically au fait, but if you're not, then it is a problem. Okay. So an e-visa essentially is you make an application. You just go on the Home Office website. You make an application. If you don't have an e-visa account yet, then you need to create one, and then this needs to be linked to your actual e-visa. You have to get your photo done, digitally. You need to upload that. You need to scan yung passport or BRP, preferably passport. Again, the two then need to be linked, and then lo and behold, at the end of the process, you will then be able to see your status online. And better yet, you can also provide. You can click on the share code. Then you can get the share code. You can provide that to banks, employers, landlords and they too can check na mayroon ka visa dito, no? And when you're traveling back into the United Kingdom, the carrier, that is the airline, o kung magbabarko kayo, then they should be able to also check online na meron kayong visa. So that's at least the plan, no? So that's supposed to make life quite a bit easier but the problem, as I've said, is timing. And all this is supposed to happen on the 31st of December, but the Home Office, and I think it is a great idea na ginawa nga nila ito, has extended the deadline to the 31st of March 2025. But what does that mean? Okay? Now, sabi nila, you can travel back into the UK with your card, and the carrier, that is the airline, for example, na kung lilipad nga kayo, should be able to accept that you have leave to remain in the United Kingdom kahit wala nga kayong e-visa, okay, to enter. Now, the only I have a number of issues though with the limited announcement that was made. Now, if you're looking, so if you're at home or wherever you are, no, and you have an e-visa, tingnan nyo, okay? So, makikita nyo, kung settlement status kayo, indefinite leave to remain, no? Makikita nyo, nandun nga nakatatak settlement. So kung settlement visa kayo, when you come back into the UK, makikita naman, papakita nyo dun sa airline, makikita na settlement. So ibig sabihin, usually walang paso, walang paso, no? So so settlement in the UK, if you can come in, of course, pwede nang bawiin if you're away from the UK for more than 2 years. But assuming that does not apply, you should simply be able to come back into the United Kingdom with a settlement visa kayo. So the airline will see settlement, okay, walang time limit, generally, so you should simply be allowed to come back into the United Kingdom even though wala kang e-visa. Now, sabi nga ng gobyerno, sabi ng Home Office, you can still use the expired BRP as proof of your entry into your status nga in the UK. So, and I can see that would work if you have a settlement visa. The problem though, as I see it, is if you don't have a settlement visa. Now, if you're looking at your card, right, makikita nyo, ang nandun na pecha, or nandun, mga detalye nga, nandun pangalan nyo, okay? Nasa likod, nandun ang birthday nyo. Okay? Now, at the front, makikita nyo the type of visa that you have. So, for example, limited leave, okay? Or dependent visa, or spouse visa, nandun sa harap. And then the deadline, which is 31st of December. Wala doon, if you have limited leave to remain, wala po doon yung pecha nung expiry ng visa. Okay? So, how would the airline know that actually you still have a visa up until, say, March 2025 o March 2026. Dahil wala doon eh. Wala sa card nga mismo. So that is a concern, and I don't, so whereas ito nga, no, kung nasa labas nga kayo, you're coming back into the UK, you have settlement status, I can see that, yeah, okay, the airline may well say, yeah, hindi ang problema because they've extended the use of the BRP or the BRCs to the 31st of March, indefinite nga ang tao, settlement nga yung tao, so we can let them back, we can let them on board. But if it's not settlement status, because it says there, limited leave or spouse dependent visa, wala nga yung pecha nung kailan matatapos ang visa, how is the carrier going to know that it's still valid? So now, try as I might, and I have for most now of today, I cannot see an answer to this rather obvious question. So either I'm missing something or it's not simply been addressed. I suspect it will become, if it hasn't been addressed, it will be addressed in the next few days. At least I hope so, because they're running out of time before Christmas nga. Now, nevertheless, if you ask me, what should you do kung lalabas nga kayo, especially over the Christmas period, or even after Christmas, no, after the 31st of December, and then say in January, babalik nga kayo, no, 2-3 weeks nga sa atin, babalik nga kayo dito. Ang payo ko, please apply for an e-visa. Okay? The process is perhaps not as simple as some people might think, but it's not also as complex as other applications that certainly I've encountered. So ang payo ko pong una, kung nandito kayo o nandun kayo sa atin, apply for an e-visa. Because that's certainly the surest way of ensuring that you limit any any problems that you may have to come back into the United Kingdom. Pagka nandito na kayo, lumipad kayo, nandito na kayo, then that should not be a problem anymore, because if you arrive at Heathrow or Gatwick nga, they can easily check na may visa nga kayo. The problem often comes about when you are flying, no? Because of course, at kung nandun kayo sa atin, no, you're at the airport nga, una nga nagmamadali sila. They don't have so many people attending to passengers nga. And then of course, if you don't have proof of your right to enter the United Kingdom, it could be na hindi kayo papalipadin, no? And then you miss your flight. You know? So, simply apply nga for an e-visa. Yun ang payo ko. Now, some of you, and certainly we've been very busy at the office, rather than applying for an e-visa, in fact, people are applying for naturalization. So later on nga, British passport, you can do that. In fact, you can do both at the same time. Kung nagpasok kayo naturalization nga ngayon, hindi pa tapos, that's fine. You can still, as long as you have, you should have an e-visa, as I say, you can still go back, no, and come back in. Kahit hindi pa nga tapos, kahit yung application nyo as for naturalization is pending. You don't have to wait nga for the application for naturalization to be concluded before you travel. You can, it's one of those applications that allows you actually to leave the UK and come back in, but just be careful with timing, because you are British once you've done your oath taking. Okay, so once that happens, of course, you indefinitely to remain. You don't need it anymore. Pasuna, no, because you're already British nga. So just be careful now with timing. But if you make an application today for naturalization and then you have an e-visa nga, ang balak nyo uuwi kayo sa atin for say December, for the Christmas period, whilst your application for naturalization nga to get a British passport is ongoing, hindi po yung problema. Okay? So be careful nga lang with timing, but it's limited good news, as I say. They have extended or not extended. They've said you can use your BRP, even though it says 31st of December 2024 is the expiry date nga, beyond the 31st of December 2024. Sabi ng Home Office, you can use it until the 31st of March 2025. So an extension nga of 3 months. But ang payo ko po, still apply for an e-visa, especially kung lalabas nga kayo, papasok kayo nga dito, because you don't want to have that stress. And if you are kayo magpapasok o may kang abogado, make sure nga that you're taken through the process. Sa amin po, when we make the application, I also, for my clients, certainly, I provide them nga with letters. You should not need them, but I provide them now with letters setting out that I'm dealing now with, dealt with their matter. Itong visa nga nila. I print out also the confirmation of their visa. And so all you need to do is ask your solicitor. They should be able to do that now for you. So if you have any questions nga, ask them. And oftentimes it's the process, no? Marami kong mga kliyente, we give them the letter. Ang problema nga sometimes is how do you get, no, to the e-visa? And sa amin, certainly we take them through the process, no? I know it's not so easy if it's an to access it email. So what we do is we star it, for example. No, we try and ensure that you have the link. So all you have to do is press it. We show you also the buttons to press to get the share codes nga. But your solicitor should also be able to do that for you. And sa amin nga din, if you're worried about this and you want nga assistance from us, because of the timing, because we're now, of course, December na tayo, 5th of December na nga tayo, and of course it's 31st of December is the card expiring nga. So if you need help nga from us, just come into the office, no? You don't even need an appointment. Monday to Friday, preferably before 4 o'clock, because as you know, if you made applications via us, it takes a little while for it to be done, because we need to, of course, log in. Tapos we if we have to create an account, we do that. We do the e-visa nga. We will do then the digital photograph, also upload that. So ideally, you want it done on the same day. So para sa amin nga, if you just want to get it done as soon as possible, just come in. Okay, you don't even need nga an appointment. Ideally, you should call just to make sure nga that we're able to assist quickly. But it is something that we've taken into account. So we always have someone around to be able to help now. It may be that you may need to wait a little bit, but we'll try our best. So far, actually, we've been quite I think quite good or quite fortunate now that we've been able to deal with applications on the same day. And sometimes because of the process now, it may take them at the Home Office a little while to acknowledge that it's been done, in which case it's the following day that you get the acknowledgement. But so far, certainly in the last 2 months or so, we normally get the acknowledgement also on the same day. So it should all be done for you on the same day. No? And we have a fixed amount, also fixed cost. So you just call, no? If you want to find out a little bit more nga about that. So, yun po. So, hot off the press, as I say, well, nearly hot off the press, Home Office posted it on the 4th. Kahapon nga lang, no? Kahapon, that they're extending, they're providing a transitional procedure, so you can still use your BRPs, yung card nyo, or BRCs nga until the 31st of March 2025. Absolutely sensible, but just be careful if you have limited leave to remain. But to be frank, I wouldn't chance it. Kung ako kayo, I would simply make an application for an e-visa. That way you're not stressing, no? Because like most people, your holiday is probably the only break that you have, no, in a year. So it's a bit of a shame to be worrying about it whilst you're on your break. So just get it done. Okay, just get it done, even though we're only 3 weeks away from it. So do just get it done. Now, I hope that you enjoyed that. Enjoy is probably the wrong word necessarily, but I hope that you're not worried as much. No? But if you're worrying about it, don't. No? Just get advice. It can be done. If you can't do it, then get someone else to do it for you. Kung meron kayong abogado, then make sure nga that you see them, no? And ask them also to take you through the process, because it's one thing to get the process done, to get it done, but you need to be able to access it. And we certainly don't mind taking you through the process. I've certainly spent time, and you know who you are, because I've certainly spent time now with clients to say, okay, itong email, itong link, itong kailangan yung pindutin. So we're happy to do that now for you, and make sure alam nyo nga ang proseso. Because it's no good to you if you have an e-visa, but you can't access it, no? When you're coming back into the UK. So make sure that you are aware. No, now, as I say, I hope that you enjoyed that. It's slightly different from our usual process, but that does not mean na hindi natin pag-uusapan nga yung mga topics. We have lots of questions now today, big ones as usual nga. But before that, we're going to take we're going to do my favorite part of our show, which is the batian, no? So I hope that that you've said hello, and if you're thinking about saying hello, o kung meron kayong mga questions, do, no? It is I like the whole thing. I do enjoy our Thursday get together, but itong paborito ko, the batian, yung magbatian tayo. So let me just have a look. I hope that we have some greeters.